Hello everyone. Today we are on Princess Street. Unusually the sun is out and I'm wearing a sweater and a jacket because I checked the weather before I came into town and it was like, yeah, it's gonna rain. And of course it's not raining. Princess Street is the most southerly street of the new town and obviously kind of the start of the new town from the old town. It starts with what's behind me, or it depends actually which side you're coming from. The side we're on, it starts with the Balmoral Hotel beautifully behind me there. The hotel where famously J.K. Rowling finished the Harry Potter books. Sad times. I've been looking up a little bit of history about this. You know what's fun? Whenever I look up history for one of these videos, I think I know a fair bit of Edinburgh history. But even when I look things up, I learn through things as well. Now, I've told you about how the new town was designed and things. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link in the corner. But originally this wasn't going to be called Princess Street. It was going to be called St Giles Street, which I didn't know. Also what I didn't know is St Giles is the patron saint of Edinburgh. You think I would have knew that, but I didn't. And the king at the time decided that he didn't want it called St Giles Street, and it ended up getting named after his two sons, Princes Street. See what they did there? But the reason he didn't want it named after St Giles is apparently because St Giles is also the patron saint of lepers. I don't know what that says about Edinburgh really. It's mostly public transport, trams, buses that on it, because you can't drive in it. You did used to be able to drive in it. When I first passed my driving test, you could drive in it. I can't believe I'm wearing a jacket and a sweater and it's bloomin' roasting. Right now I'm standing on the roof of Waverly Mall, where there's a tourist centre right behind me. There's a shopping mall right at the start, right after the Balmoral Hotel. Maybe one day we'll go in there, but right now I'm just telling you about it. There's a mall if you want to go in. There's a good food court on the ground floor of it where it's got all the kind of things you'd want. You know, there's a McDonald's, there's a Subway, there's a Chinese place, there's a baked potato place, so you can get lots of different varieties down there if you want to go in. And there's quite a good selection of local brand shops and high street name shops, so it's good to go in there if you want maybe shelter, food and shopping. It's all other buildings now, it's all commercial buildings now. This is your main thoroughfare shopping street really, with a chemist again. We like our chemists, don't we? I'm not sure how many blocks there are on Princess Street, but you can see there's all your big brand shops. This is the second block we're on now, at least from the direction I'm coming. The Topshop, H&M, and then a hotel, randomly. There is some hotels on here, Old Waverly Hotel. And there it is, the rocket itself, the Scots Monument. And there's a man I know well. His name is Davey. Yeah. There we go, this is my good friend Davey. He's always out playing either here or on the Royal Mile, aren't you sir?
Yes, occasionally.
A quick little rule, remember guys, all the pipers that are here, they're always happy for you to come and take a picture, but be kind, leave £1.
Yes, I agree.
I'll leave you to this.
Okay Tony.
Have a good night.
All the best.
Next up we've got Jenner's. Now I mentioned Jenner's when I was doing the Rose Street video. It's a beautiful big shop, beautiful big old style department store that you want to go in. You see at Christmas, there's a big open central area that the roof goes all, it's open up, balconies all the way up. And they put a massive tree. It's great to go in there at Christmas. But yeah, get in there, have a good look round. It's not cheap. That's your high-end quality goods in there. A nice cafe up the top floor as well. And then we're on to Princess Street Gardens on the left-hand side here all the way along after the Scots Monument. As I've kind of said before, it used to be the Nor Loch. Now, what I only found out again, see this, I'm learning all the time, is Princess Street when it was built was not designed as a shopping thoroughfare. I mean, why would it be? It was built in the 1700s. Why would they say, let's build a load of shops along there? It was actually designed as your big manor houses and things, and the style of houses you can still see all over the place when you get a little bit further back in the new town, just not Prince Street anymore. There's one, I think, still building that's still designed how it was originally. As you look at them from the front, there used to be two entrances, one that went straight down to the basement and one that went up to the first floor. We're usually 2 floors above that. Hopefully there'll be still that one building still be here and I can show you what I mean. So yeah, as you look at them from the front, there was kind of two entrances, one going down to the basement, one going into the main house. All the deliveries and servants used to either go in through the basement way, or they'd have to go on Rose Street and the deliveries would come in that way and the staff would come in that way. And all the posh people and all their big house manors would be there. Now Princess Street Gardens here didn't start off as public gardens. It was originally private gardens to all those big posh fancy houses, and then gradually as the houses disappeared, I think that was around about the 1900s, early 1900s, and I mean early 1900s, they started to disappear and turn into all these shop style things. The council opened up Princess Street Gardens to the public. There was no point in having a private garden for the residences when they were no longer residences. It's pointless. So then they became, you know, more public. However, Princess Street got widened. The gardens went back further than it is. That's why if you're in Princess Street Gardens, you'll notice it's quite a steep drop immediately from the road. It's because they pushed it back a bit. Originally when it was a lock, it had a little bit more of a natural glide up and rise, but it's since they widened Princess Street and things, it then became a bit more steep to make it a little bit more of a thoroughfare. See all this stuff that I'm learning just so that you can learn. You've got the Royal Scottish Academy there, got the Scottish National Gallery right behind it. We're right beside the Mound. If you're not sure where we are, the Mound is next. The Mound is interesting as well because it was one lock, it was one big lock, this side of Princess Street. They went all the way along, and when they built the new town, obviously they built the bridges. When they built the North Bridge and they built the South Bridge to connect the old town to the new town, but they also built the Mound. All the ground and things that was being dug up when they were building the new town, they built the Mound. That's why it's called the Mound. It's essentially a mound of dirt that they used to connect the two areas, that they then built a road up, and it's this road right here. There's something that's good about Princess Street and there's something that's bad about it. It's brilliant and unique that we've got this beautiful long street with all these shops opposite it with absolutely no buildings. Actually, I don't think they're allowed to build any buildings there. I don't think anyone's allowed to build buildings on that side of Princess Street because it would impede the view of the beautiful Edinburgh Castle, which is a little bit further up. However, since all the original buildings are kind of gone, and it's now all these buildings that have been popped up and rebuilt to become this thoroughfare, there's very few original ones left, if any. Hopefully one, I think, that I can show you. But some of them are really dated because old architecture looks great, but old 20th century architecture doesn't. Like this building here to my right, which looks very 70s, 60s, concrete and dated. Nowadays, when the council let buildings be built here, they're far more aware that they want to try to keep them looking in with the natural heritage. There is one building across the other side of the road that is still how that original would be. However, it's not a manor house anymore, it's a coffee place. So this is a little bit more, not exactly, but closer to how they would have originally been. Downstairs to the basement where the servants would have worked and the kitchens and things like that, which is now a taco place, and then upstairs to the main houses. It's not the greatest example. You can see they're only like 2 stories tall after that. They weren't tall. In fact, I'm sure there's another law rule saying the buildings here are not allowed to be over a certain height, because if they do, they can impeach the view of that right there. It doesn't matter how many times I come into town, even though, you know, I live here, there's nothing more impressive than that sight towering over the city. So as you can see, I'm not showing you all the shops that are on one side, because generally I would just be walking along going, There's a Swatch. There's a Boots the Chemist. Told you we like our chemist. There's a Zara. So, you know, it's great if you want to do all your more high street brand shops. There are some local shops on Princess Street, but not as many. There's not as many local businesses as your high street brands, really, that are on here. But everyone likes a shop every now and again. You'll probably notice as well that what's going past me is really only buses, taxis, and trams. The trams are synonymous in Edinburgh. I tell you what, truthfully, now, I've never actually been on them. Oh! He's never going to sell any ice cream going at that speed. But the trams are a bit synonymous in Edinburgh because a lot of Edinburgh locals didn't really want them, but they got built anyway, and they're here now. The funny thing is, they used to be here. There used to be a tram system all around Edinburgh, and they got rid of it around about the 60s, and now they've put it back. Could have just left it. There must be something about the certain distance in Edinburgh that we like streets to be, to make them nice and easy for people to walk up and down. But Princess Street, again, is a mile. It's about a mile. Same as Royal Mile, it's about a mile. It must just be easy for us to remember when we're designing things. It must just go, how long will we make that street? About a mile, okay. How long will we make it from here to there? About a mile, okay. See, there's a good example here of a new building trying to join on with an older building. So you can see there, that is original, that part there. And then you've got these two fancy new big buildings beside it, and a big street front, which is kind of linking them up. And that's a shame that that's been lost. And it's the same here. If you look at these buildings here, this entire street front here has been changed. But you can tell by up here that that's still the original building. They've just changed the front. So it's a shame. I get why they did it. Princess Street is incredibly popular and works for exactly what it is. It's a great street to come along if you want to go shopping and have a nice wee wander. And probably one of the other things that Edinburgh's Princess Street is most famous for, oh it's dark, is the starting of Trainspotting, the original Trainspotting film, where they're running along Princess Street. Mark Rent and Ewan McGregor and Sick Boy are running along Princess Street. It started from here. That shop is behind that bus right now. At the time it was a shop called John Menzies, which you don't really see anymore. Now it's an Urban Outfitter. But yeah, from there, running along Princess Street. I kind of want to do it. You think people will look at me and think I'm odd? No one noticed. We're about at the end of Princess Street now. Again, there's a church at the end, and actually in the grounds of the church they usually have quite a good craft fair, especially during the festival. If you head down and you go in there, there's a lot of good craft goods, some really good stuff. So don't be afraid to head in there and explore it and wander around. I think that's kind of us. Once again, you know what I'm going to say. You know I don't like it, but please remember to like if you've enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe. That would be lovely. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. Till next time. Bye, humans.